Hi, second grade. This is take two. Well, I guess not take two. It's the second half of our seed traveling away from their parent plant activity. And today I have a few little things to show you on a screen share, and then you're going to spend some time making a seed pod. So you will need, and I kind of destroyed mine when I pulled mine apart. So if it happens to you, you're not the only one. Yeah, it's only the cover now. It took the staple right out of it. So it's okay. You do what you can. You will need this mystery science journal, and hopefully yours is still intact, because you're going to need a bunch of the pages out of it. You're also going to need a pair of scissors. If you have a paper clip at your house or some tape, that would be helpful. And then you might need a pencil. So I'm going to screen share with you. We're going to hear the directions from the Mystery Science website, and then I'm going to go over a few directions with you, and then you get started making your seed pod. So I'm going to screen share now. Okay.
In this activity, you're going to build paper versions of seeds that can fly. Then you'll see if you can get your seeds to fly away from their tree. Since you don't have a tree in your classroom, someone will need to stand on a chair and be the official seed dropper. This person is pretending to be a tree. Just like in the real world, you want your seed to land as far away from your tree as possible. Your goal is to escape this, the zone of darkness, the shady area directly under a tree. If your seed lands in the zone of darkness, it will struggle to grow. If your seed escapes this shady area and reaches the light, it will have a chance of growing into a big tree. Your teacher is going to put a piece of paper on the floor to represent the zone of darkness. Now you need to choose which kind of seed you want to make. There are 3 seeds to choose from. You could make a glider with wide wings. It glides like the vine seed you saw earlier. Here, I'll show you. Or you could make a rotocopter like this. Here, I'll show you a video of one flying in slow motion. Or finally, you could make a spinner that looks like this. Here's the spinner in slow motion. So pick which seed you want, the glider, the rotocopter, or the spinner. When you're done with this step, press the arrow on the right.
Okay, real fast, I'm going to stop the share. So I was looking over the pages, and
Now that you've made your choice, it's time to make a seed. Your teacher has set out 3 piles of directions and seed flyers, one for each.
Oh, goodness. Okay, stop the share again. I was looking over the directions. So the first 3 pages are the glider seed pod directions. This one you will need a paper clip for. I think where the paper clip goes, you could also do maybe a few pieces of tape. That's just to make it weighted and heavy to get it to not just fall in a weird way. Also, you or someone else in your house is going to stand on the chair and let go, or you could just do it from standing on the floor. You don't have to be on a chair. You could also put a piece of paper down on the ground if you wanted to have a zone of darkness, or maybe use a certain rug in your kitchen, or maybe by your front door. That could also be that zone of darkness for you. But again, when I was looking at it, this glider seed pod directions, I'm noticing that they did not print super well on the how to fold your paper. Just this first page is really hard to see. So this one might be kind of tricky to do. But here's the glider seed pod directions. So it does tell you which lines to fold on if you have someone helping you fold. So that's your first option. That's the first 3 pages. There's 2 pages of instructions, and then you'll use this page to make your glider seed pod. So that's one choice. The second choice is the next 2 pages, and it's the rotocopter seed pod. And it's the one that looks like this, where you're going to cut the different pieces, and then you're putting that paper clip at the bottom again. Okay, so you will need a paper clip. Maybe a couple pieces of tape might work. A thicker type of tape might work. Again, that's just my prediction. They do tell you to use a paper clip. And then the next page with that is the rotocopter seed pod, and they give you 2. So you could try it twice. And then the last seed pod you could make is the spinner seed pod. And this is the directions, page 1 of 2, and they give you quite a few different seed pods to try. So it's up to you and the amount of time you have or how excited about this project you are, but you could make all 3. I don't think it would take you very long. The glider seed pod is going to definitely take the longest. There's a lot of folding going on, but you have all 3 choices. You have all 3 directions. You have all 3 options here. You could do them all and see which ones work and which ones don't, or which ones fell into the zone of darkness and which ones you could get to go out. So just these and your scissors. And I don't know if you need a pencil. They said to get a pencil to write your name on them, but it's just you at home. So it's not a classroom full. So the next set of directions is kind of from the mystery science, is kind of what I've just gone over. I'm going to play it anyways, though, because there's some questions at the end that I want to go over. Oh, I was also thinking, you're probably thinking, why does Mrs. Tisler have hair like this? This is ridiculous. She doesn't show up to Zoom like this. It was crazy hair day. It is Friday. It's Friday the 6th. So I did this a little bit early. So we're not doing this activity for a couple of weeks. So, but that is why the hair is in buns like this. I don't normally wear it like this way. Okay, I'm going to screen share again. That was a huge tangent. Okay, here we go.
For each seed. You'll need a pair of scissors and a pen or pencil. And if you chose the rotocopter or the glider, you also need a paper clip. When you're done with this step, press the arrow on the right.
Okay, so that's what we just went over. I already went over all the directions.
Now that you've built your seed flyers, we're going to see whose seed wins. One person is going to stand on a chair like this. They are the official seed dropper. Each of you will hand your seed to the dropper and tell the dropper how your seed should.
So I'm gonna press the arrow next because I already gave all the information of how you're gonna drop your seed and what that's gonna look like. So we don't actually need to watch this. Plus, how they explain it is if we were in a classroom and we're not here at home. So I'm just gonna skip to the end here. So after you have made and dropped all your seeds, if you haven't done that yet, you need to do that first. You're going to pause the video and make those and do that first. Then once you're done, you're going to press play here and we're going to go over the questions. Okay, the questions say, did all 3 seed flyers, so all 3 seed pods, work equally well at avoiding the zone of darkness? So if you made more than one, did some of them work better than others? If you only made one, why do you think it worked or it didn't work at avoiding the zone of darkness? The second question says, how did each seed flyer's structure or its shape help them disperse? And that means, how did its shape make it move, right? How did it fall down? Did it just fall straight down? Did it move back and forth? How did its shape help it to move either into the zone of darkness or outside of the zone of darkness, which is what we want it to do so that it can grow and become another plant? The third part says, what is missing indoors but could have affected your results if you did this activity outside? So yesterday when we talked about the ways that seeds can move or travel from one place to another, that's what I want you to be thinking about. There were 3 ways that the seeds can travel, how they travel outdoors, because the plants, unless you have an indoor plant, they generally live outdoors. So what is missing? What was missing today when you let go of your seed that could have made the results or how your seed pod traveled different if you did this activity outside? So that's it for today. I hope this activity was fun and you learned a little bit of something. So I will see you next time. Bye.